Happy Hump Day, everybody, and
It
welcome
is
to
hump
Brown
day.
Bag Bets. It is Hump Day. I know the March Madness stuff's got everybody screwed up, but welcome to Brown
Oh
Bag
my
Bets.
God.
Powered by BetSperts,
Yeah,
we have your
everyone.
daily dose of quick hit handicapping and sports betting picks, and still trying to figure things out, still trying to clear his head from just all this schedule mess. Andrew, how are you?
Yeah, I seen more people comment and DM and like they couldn't. Is it really Monday today? Because there was college, just the and it's going to get worse next week. It's going to go Monday and Tuesday for the Elite Eight. So goofiness all over the place. And yes, it's been a funny week, but here we are. Um, Suck it, Bellarmine, I guess. They were I don't think they scored for like 9-10 minutes. I don't know. It was awful
That's
though.
not
I,
good.
I wasn't paying attention to that game. I'm like, oh good, my dog's up by I just got the halftime alert. Hey, my dog's up by like 9. And then I check back later. Like they're down by like 17. What the fuck is going on? This is awful. So not a great day in college. I'm probably gonna leave tonight's championship game alone. I will just kind of touch on that quick before we get going. I think I would probably lean to the dog in this one. We're gonna get Coastal Carolina and who is the other team? The team that won. Coastal Carolina, I believe, is the 5-point dog to Pepperdine of the
That's
West
right.
Coast Conference. I didn't think Pepperdine had a great matchup, and they certainly figured something out in the second half. Nice high total in this one, 150. If I had to play anything, it would probably be dog over here, but I'm gonna stay away unless this drifts out. If we see some Pepperdine money, this gets like 6.5. I definitely have to think about it. Tomorrow, 4 NIT quarterfinals. I'll definitely look into those tonight. Anything I put in, I will put in on the BetSperts app. You should be able to get alerts for that. And obviously, we'll talk about it here tomorrow. And then, getting into semifinals in the regional semifinals, rather, in the big tournament. Once we get to the weekend, we'll get more into that as we press on. And as always, yeah, what a collapse that was in the chat there. As always, thanks to our sponsor, WinBet. Still get your $500 risk-free bet, 1,000 if you live in. I don't know if Michigan is it just the Wolverine state.
I think it is the
Hashtag
Wolverines thing.
pure Michigan. Some nice folks from up there. I have been to Michigan. Very nice, except for certain parts of Detroit that I accidentally drove through. But yes, the 3 states live. A fourth is live. We're just waiting to get some information on there where we can help some people out with some promos. Still giving away the sweatshirts. There will be. You know what? I'm just going to pin the tweet. Brown Bag Bets pinned tweet will have the links to anything you need to if you want to get signed up, get the risk free
That's a
bet,
great idea.
get the sweatshirt, and on with the show. Let's dig. Let's just start with the NBA because you didn't lose an NBA pick last night.
That was fun.
You're not. You said, you know what? I'm hot. I'm not going to put that at risk. I'm not going to spray the board. Just going to take. And I know that's not how you operate, but only one.
Unfortunately,
Only
I
only a
wish.
little action tonight. Yeah.
I know it's a shame. There's 11 games. I was a little disappointed. I missed a couple good numbers while I was eating breakfast or something. The Atlanta Sacramento total dropped like 3 or 4 points this morning. I was looking forward to betting under. I think it was 235 or even 236 early this morning. That would have been nice, but that is gonzo. A couple other numbers got beat up from a total perspective. A few other games that I was pretty close. I thought about going back to the well with Cleveland against Chicago, but Cleveland's on the road, so I'll probably stay away from that. Charlotte, I know that they don't have LaMelo Ball, but as a 3.5-point favorite against a Houston team that doesn't seem to be too interested in winning games was another close one. So, a lot of close wagers I ended up passing on. The one I did like, the Denver Nuggets here, -1, -2, basically any number less than 3, I think is good here. They are visiting Toronto in Tampa Bay. I have the Nuggets as 5-point favorites in this game. A little less than that, I guess 4.9 technically. So again, any number less than 3 is a really nice edge here. I love the matchup. Denver is going to have the best player, if not the 2, if not the 3 best players on the floor with Jokic, with Murray, with Michael Porter Jr. Toronto's still a team with a lot of good depth, but they've had a lot of success playing small, and I don't know if that's really going to work against Nikola Jokic. I don't know if that's the best idea in the world to run small lineups with Nikola Jokic and with a guy like Michael Porter Jr., who isn't a big man, but he's 6'10". He's almost 6'11", I think. With shoes on, they always mess around and do goofy stuff with socks when they get measured. But it's just not a great matchup at all for Toronto. So happy to grab Denver here at a small number.
I dig it. And I will say too, I'm playing some golf today. I said in my article, I put out an article. I said these are
Oh,
small
I think you were
because
playing golf. Never mind.
oh
I got
god, no,
distracted.
it
No one's playing
honestly
golf in Minnesota yet.
not. Yeah, it's like swampy out
There's
still.
still
Like
snow on the
it's
ground, right?
a little like on the north side of buildings. There's still snow. It's swampy. Like you wouldn't want to go out there. They probably wouldn't let you on a lot of these courses. I think some people are maybe finding driving ranges or hitting practice balls around the yard, but not quite
That's
golf
what I've been
season
doing.
up here quite yet. Quick question from Olinger Andrew, which I'm assuming is his name, but put in the wrong order.
Oh,
More,
who
maybe
knows? Maybe he
some
just has an
joking
interesting first name.
over player props.
Mr. Andrew had just a really fun thing making up first
Yeah,
names, but I do.
Olinger.
I like that. I like that. That's a pretty good angle. I have an account at Ace NBA Previews where we do some props and stuff. So look there, and we'll release any official plays there. But I think that's a great look. Jokic over on props. If you're a DFS player, have him in. I forget what FanDuel does or DraftKings. They get like a little crown or like a special marker to get more points. He's going to be a great pick for that tonight. So
The captain.
the captain is. I forget what the official word
Yeah,
for it is.
no,
There's
I've
always like a
played those a
special.
few. I've played that in like NFL Showdown for like Monday night. Like you have when it's a single slate and there's only one game. That's how they use it to differentiate lineups. Like, and UFC ones do that too. I'm horrible at DFS. Don't ask for my advice, but I have played those with captainships.
DFS is tough.
It is a grind. Like it's a grind.
We could have some DFS people on if anyone is interested in hearing more about that. But it's not something that I personally attack because there are people that are much better at numbers and much better at doing that stuff, and I just don't have the time to get into it. So if you have questions about that, let us know. You can DM us at Brown Bag Bets or each one of us, and maybe we'll find somebody to come on and talk about it for 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, I mean it's fun. I'd rather do like buddy leagues. I enjoy those where it's a bunch of people that I know are not pros, where you're just goofing around against some guys and maybe
that's fun.
It sucks because basically you're just donating some rake, but it's still fun to win those. As I was saying before I got distracted by a good question, I did post a blog about the WGC-Matchplay last night. Late last night, I forgot to tweet about it, but that does bring me to my point about the BetSperts content on the app or the web. You can follow the Deep Dive podcast page. Maybe I'll get some screenshots on here tomorrow, kind of show people how that works. But if you want, you can get an alert anytime I post a blog. In fact, I think you can just say, I don't want videos, I don't want podcasts, I just want blogs, because there will be some things that I'm betting on that I'm not posting on the app, whether it's a market that we don't have available quite yet, or it's just some things I want to write about or some props. So I did kind of talk about the WGC last night. And like I said, if you follow the Deep Dive page, Deep Dive Podcast is the name of the page on the BetSperts under the content tab. You can get all my blogs there. And it's funny, one of these things I said is there's a lot of uncertainty. I'm not super excited about getting involved in some of these groups. And for anyone who doesn't know, there's 16 groups of 4 men playing against each other. And like Daniel Berger skipped last week's tournament. He had hurt ribs. He comes back. He says like, oh, I'm like 70%. I'm not sure if I'm feeling it yet. And clearly, like all of my numbers, all my underlying data says like he's the best player in his pod. Like his price, he's the chalk. Like if I had to play somebody in that pod, I would definitely play Daniel Berger, but he's hurt. Like, am I really gonna do this? And the same thing, I saw some people fading him, whether it's in today's matchup versus University of Minnesota golfer Eric Van Rooyen, or in the group play, you could bet who will come out of the group. Of course, he's up five strokes through 9 holes over EVR. And there was a lot of people said, it's just maybe a value play to take this other guy at a big dog price. So I'm glad I took it light because there were some goofiness things. I think
that stuff is tough.
And not only that, like John,
just trying to attack something that's got a small sample size. Like if he is hurt, you only have a couple matches to attack this. There's just too much wonkiness.
Yeah. Well, that's
tough to thread that needle.
I'd feel bad if I backed him and he was still hurt and he played like shit. I feel bad if I faded him with golfers who I clearly think are inferior, and even at the prices. So I'm glad I avoided the Daniel Berger fade. John Rahm's another one. He's leading his group, his matchup right now, but he has also said his wife is like 38 weeks pregnant now, I think, according to where we think we're at. And he has said he doesn't care if he's leading the Masters. He will drop everything he's doing and go to see the birth of his son. Like, he will leave this golf course if she calls and says her water broke. So, like, I have no, I don't want to bet against him with Sebastian Munoz, but another one where I just said,
months.
I'm not getting 38 weeks.
Yeah, woo.
38 months would be too long.
That's not enough months.
Did I say 38 months?
No, that's
either
way, it's still a long time. Things should
either
be
way,
cooked by now.
another guy I did just kind of avoid in case, like, I'd feel horrible if I had Rahm like up 6 strokes and he just quits in the 16th hole, gets on a plane back to wherever it is he lives. So I did play a few here. Like I said, I did an article last night. I went over all of them, including some of the stuff I previewed yesterday on the show. But here are some, and as it turns out, I didn't bet any of the morning ones. Yeah, I'm reading that too. She's due during the Masters. But you just never know. Like, we're only a couple weeks away. Like, some people pop a couple weeks early. I've heard anywhere from 36 to 38 weeks along. 40 is,
I was going to
like,
say 38 weeks. That's over 9 months.
Well, it depends how you do weeks. So yeah, and
Anyway.
and either way,
he's gonna have a kid. He might disappear. If you see
sucks.
John Rahm at some point walk off the golf course for seemingly unknown reasons, congratulations to him.
Yeah. And side note, another good question. Somebody DM'd me the other day asking about Brooks Koepka's price for the Masters, which is a pretty decent price if you want to just bet on Brooks Koepka. But he's another one too, or follow along to his injury news. He might not play. There might be some big names that sit out the Masters for various reasons. But on to the WGC match play. As I said, I played 7 matchups out of the what you call it, 32 I think there were. So
Yeah.
I more than I wanted to. Like I said, I only put a quarter unit on all these, and some of them have started this morning. I have Bubba tied with Fatrick. Harmon is I don't have Harmon, I have Henley. Gosh, I don't know if I have much going on yet this morning. A lot of these were early, but it looks like I did take 4 afternoon ones. Siwoo does not start for about another half hour, and then the rest of these are much later. In fact, Henley over M is like 2 hours from now. So there is a little time for these if you wanted to get in on some action. Fleetwood's a guy who's faded. Sometimes I have a little trouble with some of the guys who play overseas, but Fleetwood, just based off the numbers and what I have in my database off him, I'm fine fading him, especially at a dog price. And not only, I'm going to post these numbers here. These are the numbers I played last night. All of these have moved a little in my favor, but not so much that I still wouldn't play them. So I feel good about that. And then also, if some of these do get a little juicy, or like the Sergio one is a little juicy, there are books that are offering half-stroke lines. I think Bet Any Sport has that right now. So I did bet some half-stroke lines on like the Neiman one this morning. Homa over Horschel. Horschel's a guy I'm fading constantly, even though it bites me sometimes. I just had to go ball striking on this and kind of hope that nobody gets real stupid with the putt. Homa's form right now is just too good not to take him as a short favorite over Horschel. Much has been made about the Texas guys, the guys that went to UT, the guys that live in Austin. As I mentioned yesterday, Sergio he's an outright I played on his group, but here's another one I played. He does live in the area. He's from here. I think it's because his wife is from here, so he knows this course. He's been around. And then Lee Westwood is a guy I'm just going to have to fade. I mean, he said before the last tournament how tired his legs were. He missed the cut at the Honda after some really good golf. He's played great golf. His recent form is off the charts, but he's up there in years, and he's came out and said he's super tired. He's got tired legs, and I think he's probably looking ahead to the Masters. He went out and played Augusta with his kid the other day. That's how old he is. He has like a 20-year-old kid he went and played golf with. So he went and played Augusta. I think he's definitely looking forward to that. He's finished either second or third at all the majors. He's never gotten one taken down. And this is a guy who's won tournaments on like 5 different continents. So I think probably that's his white whale. That's his last thing he's trying to track down as he's getting up there in his career. And then Henley is just a guy I have super highly rated. I fade Sung Jae all the time. I think this is the latest one. This doesn't go off until almost 1:00. Henley is he putted his dick off last week, like just really gained strokes on the green. It's not something I think he's going to do a lot, but he has a smattering of top 10 finishes over the last 6 months. He's a guy back all the time, just a good player. And Im's been a fade for me here and there. So question from Redaholics, do books offer like -1 hole equivalent to -1.5 in head to head? Yeah. So they do still go half a stroke. So once we get to the weekend and anyone who bets the World Cup, think of this as group play and the weekend is knockout rounds. So the weekend is, they'll play 100 holes. Oh, they'll never do that, but they'll play as many holes as it takes to break this tie. Whereas these group play rounds, they will let this end in a tie. If it's tied after 18 holes, it's a draw. I don't know how they use that for advancement. They have their system figured out. So you can push on these money lines, and if you lay -half stroke, you can lose if it pushes at the end of 18 holes. Just like a normal golf tournament, 2 men can shoot the same amount of strokes over 18 or 72 holes. So there are a couple books, I'm going to dig around, see if any more have them going through the weekend, who do have -1 point or -0.5 strokes. Like I said, the old 5 dimes, or if you're in Canada, you have 5 dimes. Bet Any Sport has that right now. So I did bet that for the Joaquin one. I didn't like the price for the Sergio one. I just laid the 30 cents there. It's out to like 145 now. I might lay it if I was betting it now. So do hunt around for that, but no, you can lose on those. These group play matches can end in a tie. And that's it. And like I said, I might dig into Punta Cana this afternoon because we have an actual real golf tournament. There's only 64 men golfing here. So a good chunk of the tour is in beautiful Punta Cana. And there's some regulars playing down there. I'm going to look and see how much data I can get on that this afternoon. If I do, I'll blog, look for that. And then, as always, as we go through the weekend, I'll keep putting some matchups up. Look for that. And I don't know, is Miami over, or we still have that going on?
We're still going, baby. We got the rest of this week. We got next week. So no totals, though, unfortunately, folks. Andy's going to pull this up. We just got some money lines today. We'll start with Olga Danilovic. Let's take a look at my timing right now. She starts around 2 o'clock Eastern, so you've got about 2 hours to get that bet in. Small underdog there to Anastasia Sevastova. Sevastova, a player kind of, I think, on her way out. There's been whispers that she's just kind of showing up, collecting checks until her back really just gives out for as long as she has ranking points. Have done very well fading her. So happy to take Danilovic, a younger player who made it through qualifying, should be in pretty good form here against someone, again, Sevastova, who's coming in cold, who's played very poorly. Her whole break rate's dropped, I think, like 20%, honestly, over the last 20 years. It's just really precipitous. So we'll start with her. Then we've got Ludmila Samsonova. She's -120 here. She's playing Camilla Giorgi. Giorgi, a player, I think I've talked about this before, can red line. And really what that means is just she has this peak level of tennis that from time to time she can achieve that it's just about as good as anybody, but it's very irregular. It's very inconsistent. And especially in these conditions has never happened. She generally does very poorly here. I don't think she's actually ever made it past the first round. She does poorly in the tournament Indian Wells, which is not happening this year, but very similar court, similar situation. So as you start to look at that, happy to back Samsonova, a younger player who's actually done a little well here before. And, somebody in Georgia who, again, I think is kind of similar to Sevastova, showing up, going to collect her check and probably move on to whatever the next tournament is. You've got a couple hours for that one. That's 5:30 Eastern time. And then last, Wang Jiyu. Be careful there with the last part. You got to know your Wang. It's not Wang Jinyu. Wang Jiyu. Wang Jiyu is going to play Elena Ostapenko in about an hour, probably about an hour and 15 minutes, if I'm being honest. Might be a little bit longer than that, but again, about an hour to put that in. Ostapenko is a great player. She's a deserving favorite in this match, but she's gotten out to a number that is just way, way too deep from my perspective. Wang, younger player, again, not necessarily used to playing at the WTA level. This will be a step up in competition for her a little bit, but someone like Ostapenko is very erratic, has a lot of power, and Wang's not going to mind that. She hits the ball probably just about as hard, not just as hard as Ostapenko, but hits the ball pretty hard herself. Is going to have no trouble taking Ostapenko's power and redirecting it. So 3 money lines for us here today, Andy.
I'm all about that money line life. Look, now we're going to be on the opposite sides, just like we talked about pre-show. Whatever. I'm fine being on the opposite side.
No, it's gotta be right. We fixed it.
Thank you for switching that back.
There you go.
So yeah, Miami action, golf action, basketball. Yeah, if you get real squirrely, maybe see if we get a slow start in that Coastal Carolina game. I can see that if that total ticks down into the 140s, just based off like some lull or at the low 140s, I might take a live swing at that. And of course, I will be monitoring Punta Cana and John Rahm Baby Watch 2021. We'll keep you up to date. We should do a segment on that.
It's 40 weeks, so we're good. We still got some time.
Yes. Well, that's the thing though. Like 40 weeks is kind of the target. But I mean, once you get to like 30,
it goes over, it goes under. That's why people bet on it.
Yeah, there's an over under on that. But like once you hit 36, 37, it can be any time. And sometimes, I don't know, I think maybe on the second kid, oftentimes they'll come a little early. I am not a gynecologist nor an obstetrician. So I don't know. I'm going to dig into this. GYOBN. I'm going to dig into this a little more. We will do Rahm Baby Watch.
Try to make you say that every show now.
Yeah, we'll dig more into Rahm Baby Watch tomorrow as we get more into basketball, tennis, golf, and just betting stuff. So again, thanks for the hang. If you're on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. If you're listening to the podcast, rate, subscribe, review, all that jazz. And then of course, if you are not on YouTube, get over to the YouTube channel. It is just the BetSperts YouTube channel. We will be hopefully over the course of the summer and into the fall getting some more content, some different shows, some new things up there. So definitely going to want to subscribe to that. And if you ever think you're going to miss it, you can even set alerts on YouTube to let you know, hey, there's a new show coming out in about an hour, because I always will set up the time for these. So thanks again for the hang. And it's funny, we're getting so much pregnancy talking here. This is great.
It's been a great episode of Brown Bag Bets and Babies, folks.
Brown Bag Bets and Babies. I love that. See you guys.